Hey everyone, hope you're doing great. Really excited to be on today to chat about how I wrote actually two books last year while I had an infant around. And really, the thing I want to focus on here is time management and mindset and how I was able to accomplish all of that because believe me, it was a lot to do. Hi, I'm Dr. Beth Brombos of Blogger to Author, and I'm the author of four, possibly soon to be five books. I'm testing out a strategy with some extra time I have this week, and I help others do the same. I help other bloggers and content creators get their books out into the world so that they can use those books to build authority and build their businesses with that authority. So again, like I mentioned earlier in the intro, today I wanted to get on and chat with all of you about how I wrote two books in 2017 when I had a little one at home and really how I was able to accomplish all of that as a work at home mom. Writing is not my full-time gig. I think I've mentioned this before, but most of my income does come from client work. It's far more lucrative than making royalties on books for most of us, I think. And so and this is a bit of an aside, but that's why I talk so much about a book being part of your business and not just making the book be your entire business. Because I will say that the royalties chunk, yes, I do make royalties. It absolutely helps add to my bottom line. It's not where the majority of my income comes from. However, the expert status that my books have brought me and everything that comes with that, the credibility, the notoriety, that absolutely helps me secure all of this client work. And that absolutely contributes to my bottom line. So don't think about it just as, how much is Amazon going to give me every week not every week, they pay out monthly. How much is Amazon going to pay out monthly for my book? Think about it as a whole, as what your book is going to do with you. Anyway, so that's my aside. Sorry about that, but I think it's also an important point to make. So how was I able to do it all while having a little one at home? My daughter is now 14 months old. So when I published my second book, Blogger to Author, she was, I believe, 7 months old. And as I was doing the real hard work of writing and editing, she was 6 months old. So very needy. And I am the primary caregiver in our home. Like I mentioned, I work from home. So that was difficult. And then I recently published a book when she was 13 months old at the end of end of December, actually. So again, it's possible, I guess is what you should take from that even if you are super busy and you have a lot going on, you can still write a book. So what are the two things that I attribute to my success? The first one is mindset. And it's super important. And I think it's I think it's something that's easy to gloss over. I don't think it's something that you should gloss over. So for example, that book, Blogger to Author, I worked on it when I conceived the idea and knew that I needed to write it when I was maybe finishing out my first trimester, getting into my second trimester. My goal was to publish it at the beginning. My original goal was to publish it at the beginning of my third trimester. That did not happen. I let a lot of other things get in the way. Ultimately, I let my working hours go to client work instead of reserving some of them for writing my book. And again, yes, I was pregnant. We moved across the country from Chicago to Oklahoma. I had a baby. There was a lot going on. But at the same time, when she was 6 months and I said, okay, I really, really have to get this book out. I did. I made it a priority. I made sure that I was spending time every single week moving the needle forward on my book, and it worked. I set a quarterly goal to finish it. I am a huge proponent of quarterly goals. I think you should all be making them if you're not already, even if it's not just to finish your book. I think that period of time is really golden when it comes to getting big projects done, like writing a book. But so that's exactly what I did. I launched it on the last Tuesday of Q2 last year, and that book has really helped me build this business, for example. And it's also helped me get clients who either I'm consulting for them, or perhaps I am doing some copy editing, that sort of thing. It's really helped me build that credibility. So I absolutely needed to get that book out. And I did, because I sat down and said, this has to be a priority. I have to get it done. And I did make it a priority. And I think I've talked about this on other live videos, but just talking about the importance of mindset and the importance of truly making your book a priority. So for example, one of my New Year's resolutions this year is to spend 30 minutes reading a day. And I haven't been perfect, but I've done so much more reading in the past, 3 weeks or whatever. Yeah, about 3 weeks into the year. And so again, what I had to do is prioritize that and say, okay, I need to not do, the easy stuff is not to, do social media stuff, for example, or just, be scrolling through my social media feed. Like that's somewhat easier to do. There have been a couple of nights where, I still had client work to do, but I said, no, I really want to stick with this resolution, and the client work can wait until tomorrow. It's not something that I absolutely have to get done today, and half an hour today versus tomorrow isn't going to make that big of a deal, but it is going to make or break me staying with that goal to read more books, to fill my mind, to sharpen the saw. And so I guess that's the analogy, and that's the spin that I hope you take on it, is that you really have to make sure that you are prioritizing. And again, that mindset part is so huge. It sounds simple, but I hope that you can think through and find examples from your own life where if something was truly important, that you made sure that it got done. So that's, I think, probably the most important part. And there's also that time management component and sort of figuring out how best to spend your limited time. Because if you are truly busy, you don't have all day to write your book. And so the small chunks of time that you do have to write your book, you need to be very focused with. And that's exactly what I did with both of the books that I wrote in 2017. You've heard me say this over and over again. I'm going to say it again. I am a huge proponent of having a detailed outline ready for when you go to write. Because, and again, I say this over and over, and I'm going to repeat myself once again, because it is so important if you're going to work in a focused manner. Because when you go to sit down at your computer, you know exactly what you need to write that day. You know exactly what you need to accomplish. You know the main points that you need to hit on with your words. And so you just sit down and get them out. And so I really hope that, I don't know how many other times I'm going to have to say this, but I'm hoping that eventually you'll start to trust me on the importance of having an outline, because it is truly going to save you a lot of time. It's especially going to save you a lot of time if you run your outline by other people, especially somebody who, has an eye for strategy and things like that. But even if you just have a business bestie, or maybe you just have a trusted friend read through it and ask them, am I missing anything? Is there anything that I need to make sure I include? Because when you get that added into your outline at the outline stage, it's much better than waiting until your book is published and having somebody comment on an Amazon review that, oh, this book, it would have been better if it went into depth more about topic, whatever. that always, number one, hurts to hear, but number two, if that's something that you could have easily added into the book, I mean, like, yes, you can just go in and publish the updated copy of it. It's not something, your book doesn't have to be set in stone, I guess is what I want to say. But at the same time, it's better if you get it in your book from the beginning. And so having somebody review your outline and help you make sure that that's all in there is super important as well. So outline, make it as detailed as possible to make sure that the limited time you do have to write with, that you get a lot done in that time. So if you need extra help with your outline, I do offer strategy sessions where it's a book mapping strategy session. So even if you have no idea where to go with your book, I'm happy to meet with you during that session and hash out what you need to cover. Or if you have an idea and you just need help making sure that your outline is everything it should be, that book mapping session will help with either one of those scenarios or anything in between. You can learn more about it at blogger2author.com/services. It's just a $97 call. It gets you an hour one-on-one with me. So what I do is send over some exclusive worksheets beforehand to get you thinking and to get sort of the juices rolling if you haven't thought through those questions yet, just to make sure that you have thought through everything you need to think through in order to make our hour super productive. By the end of that hour, we will have in a document that, of course, you will get access to. We will have a detailed outline for you to go through and use as a basis to help you get your book out into the world quickly and efficiently. And then you also get access to a recording of the call too. So really, this is great too for those of you who have been meaning to write an outline. You keep wanting to get moving on your book and you just never seem to make time for it. If you sign up for this, we're going to get a lot done in an hour, and it's going to be the key to making sure that you can take the next steps and, again, work efficiently, get your book done quickly. So again, you can learn more about that and sign up at blogger2author.com/services. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this gives those of you who are super busy some good tips to help you get to work on your book, whether you're a fellow stay-at-home mom of an infant or now toddler like I am, or whether you're just simply a busy person. Maybe you work a traditional job and you just don't have a lot of time outside of that to write your book. It's still doable. Just make sure you're working in a focused manner. So I will see you all later. And until next time, happy writing.